Hello and welcome to Vedic Vidada. Today's session is somewhat different from our regular sessions. We are going to talk about Neech Bhanga. Okay, Neech Bhanga is nothing else but cancellation of debilitation. Some people say it cancels the malefic effects. Some people say it negates the struggles the planets are giving you. Okay, so it is a base of say we are just talking about that whatever problems we had to get from that planets, it is being cancelled out. Okay, and sometimes cancellation of debilitation is so strong that rather than getting problems, you would start getting benefits. Okay, so in that case, it is called Neechbhanga Rajyoga. Okay, some people do mention it in regular manner. They mention it that it's a Neechbhanga Rajyoga, but sometimes it is just the Neechbhanga Yoga and not the Neechbhanga Rajyoga. Okay. So Neech is Neech means lower standard. Okay, when planet is situated in its lowest standard, it is called Neech. Okay, and Bhanga means to break. Okay, so what happens is Neech is when the planet is placed in the debilitation. Debilitation is all about its most uncomfortable place. Okay, and see, there is a big difference between debilitation and Maran Karak. Maran Karak is even worse. When we talk about Maran Karak Sthana, we are talking about planets situated or placed in houses where they create a lot of disturbance and troubles in your chart. So, Maran Karak Sthan is about planets placed longitudinally into houses which create impossible for you to get good result, rather it is creating worst outcomes. Okay, but talking about debilitation does not mean Maran Karak. We are talking about the situation of planets in particular zodiacs where it is uncomfortable, right? Let's say let's just take an easy example of Sun. Let's say Sun is debilitated. So Sun gets debilitated in Libra. Libra is all about balancing. Okay, but Sun is all about kingship, authority. Okay. Now imagine king has to do all the balanced work. He also has to rule, but he also has to go to the market and bargain. So it is very difficult for the king to go and bargain. Why? Because he is king. So it is very uncomfortable for him to go to the market, do the lower class people and bargain 10 to 15 rupees in each of the products. It is not his job. He is not excellence to bargain. Okay. So when Sun is placed in Libra, it gives the person a very uncomfortable environment where the person has to do something he is incapable or uncomfortable in. Okay, but let's say Sun is in Maran Karak. So Maran Karak is Sun is placed in a place where it is not just uncomfortable, but it is feeling like dying, which means there is no outcome of it. There is no way out from that position. Okay, when the planet is debilitated, you can learn and adapt to something which you don't know. So you would struggle into it. But when it is in Maran Karak, it means that even though you struggle, even though you try, it is placed in a manner where it is not giving good result, but it is giving bad result. In case of debilitation, it is not giving bad result, it is not giving good result. Debilitation means void of any good result, or say in its weakest possible manner. But Maran Karak means presence of also the bad result of it. Okay, so Maran Karak is the presence of bad thing Debilitation is the absence of good thing. So Maran Karak is even bad. So when we talk about Neech Bhanga, forget about Maran Karak. Leave Maran Karak out of your idea, out of your brain. Okay, we are not talking about Maran Karak. We are just talking about debilitation. So don't confuse this thing. This is the first thing we need to take care of, because every article you will see, you will read all these things. But when you are applying things, you will always be confused about these two things, right? So let's say let's first know that where which planet is debilitated. Sun is debilitated in Libra. Sun is the authority. It needs to balance, which it cannot. Okay. The king always should be biased in order to rule. When the king is not biased, he is not able to rule. Okay. Right. Moon is debilitated in Scorpio. Moon is all about calmness. Scorpio is the rageful sign. It is very uncomfortable to argue, get his own stand. Rather, Moon will suffer in silence. Okay, that's why it is debilitated in Scorpio. Mars is the opposite. It is debilitated in Cancer. Mars is the fiery planet who is now ordered to act calm like Moon, which is very uncomfortable for it. So Mars is debilitated in Cancer. Mercury is debilitated in Pisces. Mercury is all about quick ways, shortcuts, okay, fruits, how to find the skill of the knowledge, okay, how to find the fruit. But it is debilitated in Pisces because Pisces is all about learning. Okay, so when the person is all about organizing, understanding and knowing and grasping and taking in things, okay, which is Pisces. But Mercury is all about giving out and working out the skills. Okay, so when Mercury is ordered to not work rather than to just take in, it is very uncomfortable. Okay, and Mercury is all about smartness, cunningness, but Pisces is again all about understanding, watching different perspectives. Mercury is about establishing your perspective. So totally different things. Okay. Venus is debilitated in Virgo because Venus is all about love and Virgo is all about competition. Okay, Virgo is competition. Understand that. Whenever Venus is in Virgo, you will always have a competitor in your love life. Always. So whenever Venus is in Virgo, okay, it means that you will always have competition in your love life, in your relationships, and that is very uncomfortable for Venus. Okay, it's like you have to win your love, and even when you win, even you have won it, even when you are in a relationship, in a close bounding, you will always have a competitor. Okay, so that is again uncomfortable. Saturn is Jupiter is in debilitation in Capricorn because Capricorn is all about labor, working out. Okay, with labor I mean it is a sign where you have to do hard work. Okay, but Jupiter is all about learning. It is all about mental learning. Okay, and Capricorn is all about labor, hardships. So that is why Jupiter is debilitation. Jupiter is debilitated in Capricorn. Capricorn demands labor work, and Jupiter demands mental work. That is why. And Saturn is debilitated in Aries. Why? Because again, Saturn is your karma, and Aries is all about having courage and having that power to stand on your own thinking. Rather than Saturn is about justifying everything, being a good judge, having a balance. Okay, but Aries is all about disrupting the balance and selecting yourself first. That is why Saturn is debilitated in Aries. Okay, so these are the debilitation of the planets. Okay, so at this zodiacs, all these planets are considered Neech. Okay, talking about Rahu, Rahu is debilitated in Scorpio. Sometimes few astrologers consider Rahu debilitated in Sagittarius, and few consider it in Scorpio, but I myself feel that Scorpio has the sublord Ketu, So Rahu is not debilitated in Scorpio, rather Rahu is very uncomfortable. Rahu is debilitated in Sagittarius and Ketu in Gemini. Okay, but again there are mutual views. Okay, even Rahu in Scorpio does not give good result but opposing result. Okay, so you can consider both of it. So the first thing is, these are the places where planets are placed Neech. Neech means to its lowest, weakest standards. Okay. Now, what is Neech Bhanga? When there is another positive factor which is nullifying this weakness of planet, then it is called Neech Bhanga. So, few astrologers would, just a beginner astrologer would see the planets in the chart and the kundli and see, okay, these are placed in the debilitated zone, so these planets are not good, and hence these planets are not good for you. Okay, but what if few factors are nullifying that weakness? What if few planets are there, few placements are there which are combining with those planets and nullifying its effect? Or say few planets are conjoined with that planet and it is emphasizing it more, giving more energy towards it. Right? So in this case, those weak points, those weak planets acquire energies from different planets, get aspectual energies from different houses, and then they nullify the negative trends. Their weaknesses go off. Either their weaknesses are shadowed by another planets, or their weaknesses are covered by somebody other planets gains. Okay, so this is how Neechbhang Yoga is made. Now, in my perception, there are two views. Okay, either it is a Neechbhang or it is a Neechbhang Rajyoga. Okay, so when it, so the basic difference is both of the cancellation of debilitation occurs in both of them. But when we talk about Neechbhang, the weaknesses are solved. But when we talk about Neechbhang Rajyoga, okay, then not even the weaknesses are solved, but also good things are acquired by the planet. So the planet which is very uncomfortable in that planet, in that house, acquires energy of another planet, or aspect of another planet, or position of another zodiac, and gains even better energy and acts like an exalted one. So in that case, we call it Neechbhang Rajyoga. So what is the basic difference? In few cases, Neechbhang Rajyoga occurs, but it is not as much powerful as it should be. So I give it into the category of just Neechbhang Yoga. Okay, and where Neechbhang Rajyoga becomes so much powerful that rather than the planet acting as weakness, it starts acting as the strength. Then it becomes the Neechbhang Rajyoga. Getting my point? So this is the difference. Now, there are many criteria in deciding how this Neechbhang Rajyoga occurs. Okay, so we'll start writing or mentioning it one by one. Okay, so let's mention it one by one. I hope you all start writing it so that there is no confusion. There are too many points. Okay, in the first part, I'll just mention the points over here. Okay, so first of all, when we see the Neechbhang, we have to see from the Kendra, that is from the ascendant and also from the moon. Okay, so make two charts. Make a chart of your horoscope, D1 chart, Rashi chart, and also make another Rashi chart keeping the moon as the first house. So that becomes the Chandra Kundli. So make the Chandra Kundli and also make the D1 Rashi chart. Right? Now, the first criteria for say Neechbhang Rajyoga to occur is if the ruling lord of the debilitated planet is in Kendra from the moon. Okay, which means if the ruling lord, wherever, say for example, your sun is debilitated and it is placed in Libra. Okay, and the ruler of Libra is Venus. Now that Venus, if it is placed in the Kendra, that is 1st, 4th, 7th or 10th house from the moon, then it becomes a powerful Neechbhang Rajyoga. Okay, so you have to check in the moon chart. Okay, from the moon, Libra should be either the 1st sign, 4th sign, 7th sign or the 10th sign. Then the Neechbhang Rajyoga occurs. Okay. Getting my point? The ruling lord of the Rashi should be in the first house, fourth house, seventh house or 10th house from the moon. Okay, then it occurs Neechbhang Rajyoga. Okay. The second one is if an exalted planet is conjoining it. Say for example your sun is debilitated in Libra and Saturn is sitting over there. Now Saturn is exalted in Libra. Okay, so when Saturn is exalted in Libra, it gives all the good energy to the weaker planet and it becomes Neechbhang Rajyoga. Okay, so when an exalted planet is conjoining the debilitated planet, then also it is a Neechbhang Rajyoga. Okay, now third criteria is if the planet lord of that house, okay, where the debilitation is occurring, is aspected by the exalted house. Okay, say for example, your Venus is in debilitation in Virgo. Okay, Venus is debilitated and situated in Virgo. Okay, now Sun is sitting in Aries in his exalted position. Okay, and Sun is watching Virgo from its 7th aspect. Okay, so if the exalted house is watching or giving drishti to the house where debilitation is occurring, then also it is a Neechbhang Rajyoga. But I will consider it into Neechbhang, not a Neechbhang Rajyoga. Okay, it will cancel out, but it's not that much powerful to give you royal result. But still it is going to cancel out your debilitation. When an exalted house, when a planet is sitting in exalted house, is looking at the debilitated planet. Okay. So this was the third one. The fourth one is if the planet is in Kendra or trines from the moon, okay, which is debilitated. Okay, so from the moon, it should either be in the 1st, 4th, 7th and 10th house or 1st, 5th and 9th house. Okay, from the moon, see in the moon chart. Okay, then also it is Neechbhang Rajyoga. Okay, so all your debilitation is cancelled. Rather, you are getting a very good result because of moon. Okay. Now, third one is if the exalted planet is sitting in from the Kendra from the ascendant itself. Okay. So, for example, your Mars is debilitated in Cancer, but Cancer is your 4th house. Okay. Then also it becomes the Neechbhang Rajyoga. Because from the Lagna, from the 1st house, it is in the Kendra. Kendra, which means 1st, 4th, 7th and 10th house. If the debilitation of the planet is occurring in the Kendra, that is 1st, 4th, 7th, 10th house, then also it is a Neechbhang Rajyoga. Okay. And in this case, if you amplify the Lagna Lord, the Neechbhang Rajyoga is going to increase and give you more benefits. Okay. Now, if it is, let's say, if the planet is debilitated in your D1 chart, but if it is exalted in the D9 chart, then also the debilitation is cancelled. Say, for example, Venus is in Virgo in D1 chart, but in D9 chart, it is sitting in Pisces. So, what happens in D9 chart, that is in your Bhagya chart, in your fortune, the planet is exalted, but in the D1 chart only it is debilitated. So it causes a very powerful Neechbhang Rajyoga. But in this case, the benefits you will get after the maturity age of the D9 chart. Okay, when the D9 chart is activated, when there is a maturity age of that planet, only after that you will start getting the benefit of the Neechbhang Rajyoga. Okay. So, debilitation in D1, but exaltation in D9, then also it is Neechbhang Rajyoga. Next one is if the planet is in retro, then also it is a Neechbhang. I won't say Rajyoga, it is a Neechbhang. Okay, let's say your Saturn is debilitated in Aries, but it is in retrograde motion, then it is not in debilitation. Then debilitation is cancelled because it is walking in the reverse order, right? It is already working in the reverse order. So why it is going to give you debilitation? It is going to cancel its debilitation. Okay. Now, next one. If the planet is Vargottama, okay, then also the debilitation is cancelled. Say your sun is in Libra and it is in second house. Okay. And also in the D9 chart, it is in the second house. Okay. Even though the Lagna is changed, but if the planet is Vargottama, that is in the same house in D1 and D9 chart, then also it is a powerful Neechbhang Rajyoga. Okay. Next is, if it is not if the planet is combusted, which means that if it is so near to the sun that sun's heat and energy, it is burning the effect of that planet, burning it itself, so the debilitation is cancelled. But in this case, it is going to form Neechbhang Yoga. If you want it to be Neechbhang Raj Yoga, it should be 0 to 3 degree in difference to the sun. Okay, so it should be very near to the sun to cause Neechbhang Raj Yoga. Otherwise, it is just going to cause Neechbhang Yoga. Okay, but if the planet is combust, okay, the whatever planet which is creating which is debilitated, if that planet is combust, then it is Neechbhang. The debilitation is cancelled. But in order to be Raj Yoga, in order to be more powerful, it should be within 0 to 3 degree, 30 minutes from the sun. Okay. So again, degrees have to be taken in note. Degree should be noted, right? Now next is, if the planet house is in Digbal. Okay, say for example, your sun is debilitated, but Leo is in the 10th house, the Digbal state of sun. Okay, then also it is your Neechbhang Yoga. Okay, say Mars is debilitated in Cancer, but Cancer is in the 4th house. Okay, you are Aries ascendant and your Mars is debilitated. Okay, but Cancer being in the 4th house in its Digbal position will cancel out or negate the effect of Mars. Okay, this case is just Neechbhang. It is not very powerful, but still it is cancelling the debilitation. Okay, now if the Lord of the house is in Kendra, okay, from the ascendant. So let's say your Venus is debilitated in Virgo, but Mercury is placed in either 1st house, 4th house, 7th house or 10th house. It is in the Kendra. Then also it is a powerful Neechbhang Raj Yoga. Right. The Lord, the dispositor of the debilitated planet should be placed in the Kendra. Right. Now next is, if the Lord is exalted. Okay, say your Saturn is debilitated, and Saturn is debilitated in Aries, but your Mars is exalted, is sitting in its exalted position. Okay, then also it is a Neechbhang Raj Yoga. Okay, say for example your Sun is debilitated in Libra, but Venus is placed in Pisces. Okay, so Venus being exalted, and in the Venusian sign the debilitated planet is placed, so it is cancelling out the debilitation. Getting my point? Debilitation is occurring in Libra, and the Lord of Libra, the dispositor of debilitated planet, if that is in exalted, okay, exaltation position, then your debilitation is cancelled. It is a powerful Neechbhang Raj Yoga. Okay. Next one is, if the debilitated planet is aspected by another debilitated planet. Okay, let's say your Venus is debilitated in Virgo, and Mercury is debilitated in Pisces, right? So Mercury is debilitated in Pisces and Venus is debilitated in Virgo, but two debilitated planets are watching each other, okay, so it is going to help each other in regaining its strength. So in this way, again, the debilitation is cancelled and it is causing Neechbhang yoga. Okay. Although I can also go into the category of Neechbhang Rajyoga, but still it is going to be it is going to cancel out and a bit better than what ill effects are going they were supposed to give. Okay, so if two debilitated planets are having drishti on each other, okay, then also the debilitation is cancelled. Dushman ka dushman dost. Okay, next is if the debilitated planet is aspected by its dispositor. Okay, say a planet is debilitated, Mercury is debilitated in Pisces, but the lord of Pisces is Jupiter and Jupiter is aspecting Pisces. Okay, then also it is a Neechbhang yoga. Say another example, Sun is debilitated in Libra, okay, and Venus is sitting in the say first house, that is Aries. Okay, so Venus of Aries is watching the house of Libra where the debilitated planet Sun is placed. Okay, so the lord of the house where the debilitation is occurring is giving drishti on that house. Okay, also in this condition there is a Neechbhang yoga. Okay, so the next one is if the debilitated planet sits with its dispositor. Okay, that means the dispositor, it is in the Swarashi. Okay, say Mercury is debilitated in Pisces. Okay, but Jupiter is also placed in Pisces. So Jupiter is now sitting in its Swarashi. Okay, so the dispositor where the debilitation is occurring, it is sitting in its own house where the debilitation is occurring. Also on this phenomena, a Neechbhang Raj Yoga is formed. Okay, and let's say another example, Venus is in Virgo. Okay, but also Mercury is in Virgo. Okay, so what happens is Venus is in debilitation, but the house lord of Venus is again in the Swarashi. It is cancelling out the Neechbhang yoga. Okay, so it is cancelling out the Neech, that is debilitation, and forming a Neechbhang Raj yoga. Next, if there is a presence of Parivartan yoga, okay, Parivartan yoga is always going to cancel out Neechbhang. Okay, it is going to create Neechbhang. Say Venus is in Virgo. Okay, so it is debilitated, but your Mercury is placed in Libra. So what happens? Now there is a Parivartan. Venus will act like Swarashi Libra and Venus will act as Swarashi Mercury and Mercury will act as Swarashi Libra. In this case also debilitation is cancelling out. But I won't say it a Raj Yoga, I would say it a Neechbhang Yoga. Okay, over here the ill effects are cancelling out. Okay, if it is in Parivartan, if the planet causing the debilitation is in Parivartan. Right. Now the next is if two or more debilitation are occurring and it is cancelling out any one of it. Okay, so say there are two debilitation occurring. Saturn is debilitated in Aries and Sun is debilitated in Libra. Okay, and now Sun is watching Libra. Sun is watching Aries. Okay, it is giving drishti to Aries. So any one of the debilitation is cancelled. Okay, so you don't have to suffer two debilitation but only one debilitation. Right. Now next is if debilitated planet is in Lagna, then it is a very powerful royal Neechbhang Raj Yoga. Okay, say Saturn is debilitated in Aries and Aries is your first house. Then in first house, if in any debilitation occurring in the first house is automatically going to be cancelled and going to form a very powerful royal Neechbhang Raj Yoga. Okay, say you are a Libra ascendant and having Sun in Lagna. Okay, then you don't have a debilitated Sun, you have a very powerful royal Neechbhang Raj Yoga. Okay, this is a very powerful yoga. Okay. Next is if the debilitated planet is, if the Rajyoga, if the debilitation is occurring is in the 6th, 8th and 12th house, okay, then also it is going to lose its power, okay, because naturally the 6th house, 8th house and 12th house are not that powerful. Those houses are houses which are which release out the energy, okay. So even whatever, whether if it's good energy, it is giving out the good energy. If there is bad energy, it is giving out the bad energy, okay. So if the debilitation is occurring in the 6th, 8th or 12th house, okay, that debilitation is not very powerful. It is a Neech Bhanga yoga. I won't say it is a Neech Bhanga Raj yoga, but it is going to be a Neech Bhanga. The debilitation is going to cancel out, okay. It will be very minor, okay. It is not going to give you very bad effects, okay. Now next one is, if the dispositor is also in the Neech Bhanga Raj, is also in the debilitation, then it is going to form a very powerful Neech Bhanga Raj yoga, okay. Say Sun is in Libra, okay, and the Lord of Libra, Venus, is in Virgo. So the dispositor of the debilitated planet is sitting in debilitation, okay. So both will cancel out. So both of your debilitation cancels out, okay. Say Venus is in Libra, okay, Sun is in Libra, so Sun is debilitated, and the Lord of Libra is Venus, and Venus is also debilitated in Virgo. So both these planets are debilitated, the one that is debilitated and also the one the dispositor of that house is also debilitated. So minus minus plus, okay. So again debilitation will be cancelled. Say your Saturn is in Aries and Mars is also in Cancer, okay. Saturn is in Aries, which is debilitation, and Mars is also in Cancer, which is debilitation. So both the debilitation will cancel, minus minus plus, okay. So in this case also, this is also a very powerful Neech Bhanga Raj, okay. Now next one is, if you have to check the Shadbal, the strength of the planet. If in the Shadbal the planet is not in a higher strength, okay, then also the debilitation is cancelled. I won't say it is a Rajyoga, but that won't be a powerful debilitation, okay. It is going to cancel out, okay. And if you wear another planet which is very strengthful in the Shadbal, it is going to negate the bad effects out of your life, okay. So if in the Shadbal any planet which is causing debilitation is having very less strength, okay, so it is like nominal thing, okay. It is a nominal weakness which is not going to create a major problem. So again you have to see the Shadbal, okay. And also you have to see the degree. The next thing is degree. If the planet is of a very lower degree, the debilitation will not be a very powerful debilitation, but a very weak debilitation, okay. So it is also going to be somewhat Neech Bhanga. I won't say Rajyoga, but a very weak debilitation. Let's say Mars is in debilitation in Cancer, but the degree of Mars is just 0 degree or say 1 degree, okay. If any planet is in degree between 0 degree to 3 degree 33 minutes, okay, that planet is in debilitation, that debilitation would not be very much powerful, okay. Don't think that it is a very powerful debilitation. It is a kind of Neech Bhanga. I won't say Rajyoga, but the debilitation is going to be cancelled out, okay, since it is in a very lower degree, right. Now next thing is missing Mahadasha, okay. If your planet is in debilitation, say Venus is in debilitation, but there is no Mahadasha of Venus in your Dasha period, okay, so then there is no debilitation, because the debilitation is always powerful in the Dasha period. If there is no Dasha of that planet which is debilitated, how will the debilitation going to affect you, okay. So in this case I won't say it is a Rajyoga, but it is just cancelling it out as it is, right. The planet which is going to give you ill effect in the Mahadasha, that Mahadasha is not present in your life, okay. Say your Venus is in debilitation in Virgo, and your Venus Mahadasha is coming very late in life at the age of say 110. Are you going to live at the age of 110 years? No. So that debilitation is not going to affect you. You are going to die. Getting my point? So at that age, there is no Mahadasha of that planet, and if there is no Mahadasha, how would that debilitation going to affect you? So if your Mahadasha of that planet which is debilitated is missing in your life, then also there is a Neechbhang. Okay. And last but not the least, if the debilitation is there in say D1 chart, D9 chart and D10 chart, in all the three charts the same planet is debilitated, then also it is a Neechbhanga yoga. Why? Because even in the Bhagya it is debilitated, even in the D1 chart debilitated, even in the D10 chart it is debilitated. So even in all three charts, if the planet is debilitated, the debilitation is going to cancel out. Okay. And the last one is, if some planet causes Viprit Rajyoga. Okay, say any planet is there conjoined with the debilitated planet and it is causing a Viprit Rajyoga, or say the debilitated planet itself is causing a Viprit Rajyoga. Okay, then also the debilitation is going to cancel out and it is going to be a Neechbhang Rajyoga. About Viprit Rajyoga, I'll make some another video. So this was all about Neechbhang Rajyoga, when at which conditions the debilitation of planets is cancelled out. This is a very important topic which many astrologers neglect. Okay, they just see and tell that the planet is debilitated, but in all these cases the debilitation is cancelled out. So the person lives in fear of that planet, avoiding that planet, thinking that oh my god, that planet is causing debilitation, whereas the debilitation would have been cancelled, right? And talking about what to wear, how to wear, if in the Neechbhang Rajyoga, which gemstone to wear. See, again we have to see how that debilitation is cancelled, and that how is going to give you what you should wear in order to strengthen that Neechbhang Rajyoga. Okay, if possible I might make a second video saying what to wear, but till now let's keep it over here. Okay, thank you for joining Vedic Astrology.